Hey, so let's talk a little bit about your work history report and some frequent mistakes we see. I'm going to start with one. This has to do with the section. It's about midway down on the page where you give the details about a particular job you listed on page one. What I see people do under the question that says, what is the heaviest weight you lifted? And it gives you options like up to 10 pounds, up to 20 pounds, 50, and then I think there's 100 or more than 100. Um, People tend to put the amount that they typically have to lift that's the heaviest. So something that they have to lift maybe on a very regular basis, say daily. Um, and they tend to ignore the potentially heavier weight that they don't do as frequently. So it's not like a daily chore, but maybe only once a week you have to lift it, or every 2 weeks. And it can be a much heavier weight, and it is part of that job to do that every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, or ad hoc as needed. You have to be there to do it. And that could be like a 50-pound, item, which is heavy for someone who's not in a lifting job generally, but it's required for that job on occasion. So what I would urge you to do is think about what you had to do the worst time you had to lift something. And then think about if that happens more frequently than once while you're there. Um, to give kind of the thought that, yeah, that would be happening again if I was still doing that job. It doesn't happen every day. It may not even happen every week, but it is required when it does come up that I have to do it, and it does come up. And the importance of that is that you are now creating a more accurate impression of what the exertional level of that job will be categorized as. And the heavier it is, and at 50 pounds would be up to at least medium, as opposed to maybe what you had before, which was light or sedentary. If all you're carrying around is 7-pound items, you're at a sedentary level. And most people are deemed able to do a sedentary level, but not necessarily a medium level, which is up to 50 pounds, say. So if we are now able to categorize your job as a medium exertional job, that prior work of yours, and the doctors have all decided on the SSA side that you are not capable of medium exertion anymore due to that impaired back or neck or some other reason, then you just succeeded in proving that past job, that particular one, is not able to be done. Now you're going to have to prove that for all the other jobs you have on there too. And there's going to be various ways things that you're going to want to think about that you didn't think about in this way before. And you might be blowing your work history report. Work history report is so important. I can't emphasize more. It is, I would say it's more important than your function report. People oftentimes, they leave out jobs, which you really need to get to the jobs. And the SSA is going to find out different employers that you might not recall through a detailed earnings report that they run. And they might ask you about additional jobs. Please clarify this, this, and this, so you have an opportunity to say how you did that job, what the job duties were, how exertional they were, maybe some of the mental skills involved, all that. So when you leave something out, they might be inquiring further about it. So you don't want to leave anything out. Even I would say part-time jobs, although if their earnings record shows that it was not substantial gainful activity, meaning the earnings was low enough, it's not going to matter anyway. Although supposedly, apparently, if you have a bunch of those jobs and it's all doing the same work, but each one didn't earn you much because you kept job hopping, they could feasibly combine them all into one big, job effort, even though it's not with the same employer. Anyway, going back to it, I hear the dogs barking. You're going to want to be very careful and make sure you put in the heaviest stuff you lifted, because otherwise you're hurting your own case. All right. Talk to you later. Bye now.